Resolution 2013-54, establish process for appointing the mayor. So, I feel weird doing a report on this. Anyway, okay. So based on our workshop meeting, it seems to be the consensus of the city council that we appoint the new mayor from within rather than going out to the public. And so that's where this resolution came from. If you'd like, I can read the whole thing or read the therefore. So, or we can entertain a motion. Okay, I'll just read it. Okay, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pacific, Washington to establish the process to appoint new mayors. Whereas at a special election held in the City of Pacific, Washington, the city, on June 25th, 2013, the question of whether Mayor Cy Sun should be recalled from office of mayor was submitted to the qualified electors of the city for their approval and or rejection. And whereas initial results of the election show voting in favor of recalling Mayor Cy Sun, and whereas the results of the recall election will be certified by King County Elections on Tuesday, July 9, 2013, and whereas the removal of Mayor Cy Sun from office will become effective immediately upon certification by King County Elections, and whereas, according to state law, the person appointed as mayor by the City Council will serve as mayor and shall have the authority of mayor of the city for the remainder of the current mayoral term through December 2015. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Pacific, Washington, does resolve as follows. Section 1, the City Council of the City of Pacific will continue its July 8, 2013 regular council meeting to July 9th and July 11th, 2013. Section 2, during its continued meeting on July 9, 2013, the City Council will entertain nominations of the City Council members of the City of Pacific for consideration for appointment to the position of Mayor of the City of Pacific and interview said nominees that evening. Section 3, the City Council encourages the nominees to utilize the evening of Wednesday, July 10th as an opportunity to engage and interact with the Pacific community and encourages the residents of Pacific to engage and interact with the nominees of the evening of Wednesday, July 10th. Section 4, during its continued meeting on July 11, 2013, the City Council will entertain a motion to appoint one of the nominees as Mayor of the City of Pacific. Section 5, once appointed by the City Council, the appointee will be sworn into office and take office for the remainder of the current mayoral term through December 2015. Section 6, the resolution shall take effect and be enforced upon the passage and signatures thereon. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, so moved. Second.
Councilman Steiger, would you like to speak on the motion?
I think it's pretty well covered.
Councilman Putnam?
We need to have a process we're going to follow. We need to act with reasonable speed while still having time for consideration. I think this covers those points.
So, if I may, the chair would like to entertain an amendment to this. It was brought up to my attention that the actual RCW states that in the year that the election will be held in November 2015, upon certification of that election is when the new mayor term.
Short term.
Right, it's a short term. So they would be, that their term would end then, and the new mayor that got elected would take over, finish that term, and then take on the next 4-year term. Does that make sense? So there's like a month. So the chair would entertain a motion to change the verbiage as far as the remainder of the current mayoral term.
I so moved.
Second.
Okay, so it would read upon certification of November 2015. Correct? Any more discussion? Councilman Holtby?
Yeah, the RCW, as I recall, does state that there is a short term. And, as soon as a mayor is elected by the electorate and certified, and he would take office in November 2015.
Councilman Walker? Any other discussion?
Do we,
Yeah.
under section 2, during the continued meeting, council will entertain nominations. So do we want the interested parties to speak up tonight so we can prepare questions for tomorrow, or how? I'm just, as long as this current language allows us to do that.
Right, well, the thought process was for the people to be nominated tomorrow night so that the election was certified and that we waited until after the recall was certified before we brought names forward for the appointment. So hence the meeting and then council having the opportunity to.
So we need to deal with the amendment first.
Correct, but I answered yes. So anyway, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, amendment carries. Okay, any other discussion on the resolution 2013-54? Councilman Holtzman?
I don't see any need to carry out until Thursday. We're just wasting a lot of time, and none of us should waste each other's time or the citizens' time. We need to get, so we can elect the mayor tomorrow night.
Any other discussion on council? So, what, Councilman Jones?
I wasn't here, so what was the, I think you brought up an issue about Wednesday was for the possibility of opening up for citizens.
The consensus of the workshop was that we would open up on Wednesday to give the citizens of Pacific an opportunity to interview the mayoral candidate before council. So that the citizens would have an opportunity to participate in this process and ask any questions of the person that's going to be taking on the city as mayor for 2 years. Councilman Jones?
Retort on that. Concern was how would we get the information out to the citizens during the next 2 days so that we can have a proper venue. You know, that would be the one concern I'd like to see that any do it that way.
So discussed on Monday, I know that on the email that Jean sends out with everybody, there was a mention of that. I was hoping we'd be able to utilize the reader board over at the police station. You know, and it could probably be posted online at the Auburn Reporter. There's not a whole lot of options, just like anything that we do. There's not a whole lot of options that we have. The website hasn't been updated. We haven't had anybody planning it. I mean, it could probably be put on there, but I'm not sure people go to it because it hasn't been updated. Any other way that you can think of, we can post it over at the, you know, post it on the hall windows here, over at the post office, over at the library.
Yeah, I would imagine that people that would show up on Wednesday night are probably the people that's sitting right here tonight. And in all likelihood, most of them will be here tomorrow night. I don't see that we're going to get a large influx of participation in a city council meeting because it hasn't happened in the past.
We don't know that, but I think it's just a great opportunity to let the citizens have an opportunity. But that's just my personal opinion. If so, is there an amendment to this in my hearing? I'm not hearing an amendment to this, so. Any other discussion, Councilman Holtzman?
I still just think we're wasting a lot of people's time. We need to get a mayor elected and move the city forward as soon as possible.
Any other comments from council? Councilman Pepin?
After 18 months of stonewalling and lack of communication, I think we can wait an extra night or two for some level of public transparency on the process. I agree we need to get things moving, but we do have a mayor pro tem for those 2 days before he has to go out of town. So it's not that nothing would be going on. He has indicated he'd be preparing a transition for the new mayor. So while I agree it's good to get moving as quickly as possible, I think we also should have some public transparency on the process.
Any other comments from council? Okay, not hearing an amendment. comments from the audience?
Probably don't even need it. I agree with Councilman Putnam. Oh, Sherry
Thank
Kane,
you, sir.
422 Chicago Boulevard South. And I definitely agree with Mr. Putnam that as one of the citizens, the lack of communication between the city and the citizens has been significant for the last year and a half. I do recall one instance, and if that could be utilized again, you packed that auditorium over there. Part of it, I think, was because of the reader board that was set up in somebody's yard down the street. If we could get one of those huge reader boards set up again, I don't know what they cost, but potentially council could manage that. If we could set one up here, it's such a unique thing that people pay attention to it. You could get a lot of people just by having a reader board up for 24 hours. I personally do not think that 48-hour difference will make a hill of beans in electing a mayor. Thank you.
Might as well leave it at that. We're going to have a few comments.
Oh,
Thank you, sir, too.
Frank Hatton, 317 3rd Avenue, Southeast. Tomorrow night, we have a Pacific Partnership meeting that'll be going on at the same time as the event here. These are volunteers that are definitely involved with the city. I'm sure they'd want to have some comments in talking to the nominees, but they will not be able to be able in two places, so Wednesday sounds great for that situation.
And there's about 8 of us in here.
Any other comments from the audience?
Yes, ma'am. Denise Desadier, 345 Pacific Ave North. I actually have a question. Since we're talking about transparency, is what would be the purpose of, as I understand it, as I'm hearing it, the council is going to make the decision, correct? So the public response is going to change those decisions, and what would that possibility be for our input? It's not that I'm supporting or denying, I'm very curious. Thank you.
So, and I believe the thought process is behind that the citizens may ask questions that the council doesn't ask of these candidates before they make their decision. So we want the citizens of Pacific to be able to weigh in on this decision and ask those questions. Thank you.
And to add on to that as well,
Thank you.
Thursday night when we come back to vote, council would have had a chance to interview the candidates. If a motion's made for one candidate or the other, there's a public comment period as well. So citizens could come up and kind of weigh in on that discussion.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? No comments? All right. Roll call of council on resolution 2013-054. Yes, I'm sorry.
Did I understand that section 5 is now amended to read that once appointed the city council, or by the city council, the appointee will be sworn into office and take office until the election results for the mayoral position are certified for the November 2015 election?
Correct.
Is that what that amendment is?
Based on the RCW. Thank you, I appreciate the clarification. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, roll call of council, please.
Fran Walker,
Aye.
John Jones,
Aye.
Josh Putnam,
Aye.
Leanne Dyer,
Aye.
Darren Holty, Clint Steiger.
Aye.
So with that, I would entertain a motion to continue the meeting tomorrow night, 7:10.
We added Clint's item as item F. Should we suspend the rules and move that up to be item B for discussion before we? And we have the consent agenda.
Well, we do, but I wanted to try to get the special meeting announcement in before, because we got to give it 24-hour notice.
It's just not a special meeting.
Right, if we continue the meeting,
Yeah.
but it still has to have a 24-hour notice according to the attorney.
As I recall, that was in the,
Yes, a continued meeting still has to have 24-hour notice.
as I recall, that was in the resolution.
So we didn't call for it, I mean, it was suggested that we make a motion that it was clear that we were continuing the meeting for 7:15 tomorrow, I guess.
Okay, well, let's just go through the formalities. I make a motion that we continue this meeting to July the 9th at 7 p.m.
7:15,
Oh,
we have to
7:15.
24-hour notice.
All clocks.
Second.
Councilman Steiger, would you like to comment?
This is just formality to make sure we're legal.
Councilman Putnam?
Make sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's.
Thank you. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, guys. This meeting is continued at 7:15 tomorrow. To discuss other items that are going to be on the agenda. So now we can go back to resolution.
Actually, can
We're done.
I re-rate point of order?
Yes.
Um,
Oh, so that, I was told wrong, I had to do that.
And the other point of order I was going to raise is that before passing these other resolutions regarding the authority of the mayor pro tem and the process and all that, seems like it would be appropriate to discuss the status of the existing mayor first before discussing what to do in his absence. But
So, okay, well, I was ill-advised on trying to get this special meeting scheduled, so now I kind of messed up because I wanted to have those other two passed ahead of time, so I misunderstood what was being said. Councilman Walker?
If we continue, can we rescind that? I'm looking at the attorney.
I believe that a motion for reconsideration of the vote taken on that resolution can be made, and it can be reconsidered.
But will that not affect the extension time?
We'll just have to, I guess, redo the motion then, and whenever time we get past the other two resolutions. Councilmember Walker?
What if we recess and post the meeting for tomorrow? We recess for a few minutes to get it posted for 7 o'clock tomorrow, for 7:30. Can we continue this meeting, or does this meeting have to be done by the time the next meeting is scheduled to start 24 hours later?
Good question for the attorney.
I believe we have authority to post that we're going to continue it because the resolution we just passed, section 1 says the city council of the city of Pacific will continue its meeting to July 9th. So we may not have formally done so yet, but we have formally approved our intent to do so.
As long as we meet the 24-hour guideline, that's what I was trying to do, so that we don't have a meeting at 8 o'clock at night. Councilmember Steiger?
I don't think the 24-hour falls into play here. Because we've already announced, it's already on here, everything's been said that we are going to continue this meeting. So, the only place that the 24-hour status would come up is the event that we are calling a special meeting, or we are continuing on without any previous intent being done. I can't see where, what motion I made was just a formality. I didn't say we were continuing it immediately, just stating that this meeting would be continued.
Councilmember Holsey?
Back to the point I was trying to make, it's in the resolution. It's been the resolution's been published for a couple days now as part of the agenda, and that should take care of the notification requirement.
I'm sorry, we're conducting business outside. Once we adjourn, we need to rescind that. We need to motion to reconsider before we can do anything else. So I'll make a motion to reconsider the continuation. We can discuss it.
Second?
I believe that the proper motion should be that you move to reconsider resolution 2013-054.
We don't want to reconsider because we passed that, but we made a motion and voted to continue the meeting. Isn't that the one?
That's correct. My apologies. You're correct.
So that's the motion.
Okay. And who seconded it? Josh. Okay. you want to speak to?
I think just to open up the discussion and not let it stay long.
Yeah, I'd like to continue the discussion appropriately with the next meeting back in session. So obviously we're cart before the horse on that last vote.
So my misunderstanding of how that process needed to work, so if everybody is in agreement that with it being stated in the motion that we can continue this meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, then we don't need to make the special,
We don't
we need
need
to
a
continue it.
special
Okay.
motion, therefore, since prevailing. A motion was made by members of prevailing side to reconsider them.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you for saving my bacon. Okay.